Good evening, YouTube. This is Kaylin Stern coming at you with number 4, a series of 6 videos of the Sopacko 2012 pack date low sodium ration meals. Again, these are not numbered by menu. And I'm sure that even to this date, the production of these put them in the and again, this one is packed just napkin. And there are 2 peppers. The other ones that I have opened so far have had the napkin, 1 pepper, and the salt-free seasoning in an accessory pack. And of course the spoon. And with the rest of these, there is no drink of any kind, not a cold drink powder, not a hot drink of any kind. So again, I am digging into my stash and I pulled out my own drinks. These do come with the same exact components every time. There is a JW and Prepping Life. Thanks for dropping in. Went live. Is the penne with the vegetable sausage crumbles and tomato sauce. I opened up one of these means for a recipe that I did for the Minotaur Trading Company Ration cooking contest, and all those entries are now being judged. But I doctored that one up, so I never tasted that one as it would be just eating it straight out of the pouch without adding anything to it. So that's what I'm going to do tonight. And these have the peelable seal, and so far I have not had an issue with any one of these opening. I do apologize in advance for the shakiness. My phone mount is not exactly stable. But with all of these, you get the same exact components. Crackers, which tend to always have broken when I have taken them out of the pack. The Sure Pack branded flameless ration heater. These are all 12 pack date, so I am boiling all of these. Stram is the same. This time it is grape jelly instead of apple, so they might vary the jellies in here. It may be, as I said last week, it may be strawberry and grape, it may be strawberry and apple, it may be apple and grape. Who knows, but I always get 2 jellies. Got the typical spoon, which I do not use. I do save these, by the way. They just get added to my collection. Because I have the foreignemery.com spork. And another item that is a constant, the twin pack of the brown sugar toaster pastries, which are so tight you can't even split them apart. You basically just have to eat it as if it was one. The Tootsie Roll is the same. This one feels like it probably did get a little bit squished. And there's the main. And as you can see, this one actually had no salt-free seasoning. So somehow an extra pepper got slipped in. As you saw, I opened up the flameless ration heater, or at least unfolded it. No salt-free seasoning. And there's nothing inside the napkin, so whoever packed this particular bag slipped. Remember, the first one that I opened up, there were 2 peppers and the salt-free seasoning. So for those that have not watched any of my streams before on these, this is what it's supposed to look like. And this is the ingredients on the back. This happens to be from another one that I opened. I just held on to it. So I'm actually saving these. So, I've put some of these in my seasoning pack that I keep for camping, and just as something I keep in my my inventory for in case I want to travel with it, or I may throw it in my food bag, in my bug out bag. I'm just moving all these other things aside over here. And so, even though it is hot today, I am still going to have, this is a Russian coffee, but I'm doing this because I want to go ahead and demo how these mugs work. There is Ford Man, thanks for dropping in. This is the mug that was sent to me by Just in Time Prepping, and it is the same type of mug that Old Smoky has, only instead of showing the face of a person, this has the new logo for the Just in Time Prepping channel. And so when I do the coffee, that will be revealed when I pour the boiling water in. And then my cold drink, I'm going with the British Tutti Frutti. And this one takes 500 mils of water, so I have my Minotaur Trading Company big mug. Someone call it a beer stein, but to me it's just a big mug. And I'll just be adding my own. I just have some creamer and sugar in here. Because I like my coffee with the creamer and sugar. So this is the freeze-dried coffee, so the granules are bigger. That took up that whole bottle of water. And there would still be room in this mug. I'm mixing this now because these can sometimes take quite a while to dissolve, especially when even when you're making this amount of drink. So I'll just give that a stir later. And these pouches, oh, there is Repeaty. That is a name I have not seen repeated in here. Sorry, I couldn't resist. But these pouches have the tear notch that go across this way instead of this way. Going across this way used to be the way the mil-spec retort pouches would be opened, but more often than not they go across this way, so that if you're out in the field eating this, and I did do it this way one time when I took one of these types of pouches to an event that I was volunteering at, and I took an FRH, a flameless ration heater, and I put this in there, threw the water in there, put the pouch in there, and heated it up that way. And because it was such a hot day, I had an MRE bag, and I just literally put the ration heater inside of the MRE bag, and that thing got so hot that I literally fused the two together. It didn't affect the retort pouch any, but I could not separate the ration heater bag. So, I mean, imagine this inside there was literally fused. It had melted to the MRE bag. So that's how hot it got that day. But it still worked. So James Ortiz is in the house. So what I'm going to do now, I'll put that mug there, and when you see me pour the boiling water in, so the design is on this side, so I drink with my right hand, but when I pour the water in, you'll start to see the design appear as I pour the water in, and it's very cool. When you see Old Smoky do that with his Bob Ross mug, it's the same thing. But anyway, I will get this in the boiling water, and I will come back with the hot water for the coffee, and we'll watch this reveal itself. Go ahead and lift it up. It may not completely uncover the top of the logo since I have not filled the mug up as far as the bottom of the top band. Actually, what I will do is I'll take you off the mount. Lighter. See, the bottom band does stay purple. I'll turn that just a little bit. And then the other side that is just blank, I'll go ahead and turn it back around this way. As this coffee slowly cools, it will start to fade back to the black. I'll go ahead and put that back there. I gotta fix this just a little bit. So now you get to see how that works. Yeah, Will went to a different company for his channel merch. So that is why it is like that. And he was having some issues with the old company, so he went with a different one. I'm going to go ahead and start opening these other things up. First, when I went to when I went into the kitchen, the burner that I had my others on that I'm used to boil the entree was not working, so I'll have to fiddle with that. So I just put it on the burner that I used to boil my water for the coffee. So it may take a little while for the main to heat up, but that's okay. I'm not worried about that. I will eventually take that back into the kitchen since I drained that bottle. But these Pop-Tarts, as I've said before, these are so tightly squeezed. It says 2, but it's actually 1 because they got fused. So this is basically what you get. It just looks like an extra thick Pop-Tart. So that's what happens when you vacuum seal these, like you do the crackers. And the filling inside acts as kind of a glue. So you can see some of it seeping out through the bottom. I'm just gonna check the chat real quick. No, it wasn't frosting on both sides. It just kind of looks like it. See, this is the frosted side. And this is the plain side. But you can see the brown specks where some of the filling has seeped through to the bottom. But they're very crumbly. Yeah, it can be hard to see when you're looking through a phone screen, which I am because I'm doing this on my phone. Now it's time for a little bit of that. I hope you heard that hiss over the sound of my air conditioner. And I do have it fully cranked, but it's not helping much. And earlier today, I did send a maintenance request through our app that we can use for such things to the management company that is running this place. These crackers have, they're breaking, so that's okay. I'll end up breaking it anyway. At least one did. At least they do not adhere to the wrapping like Emery Star crackers do. But I'm going to go ahead and snap a piece in half. And these strawberry jams can be hit or miss, even within the same case. These are all 2012 pack date. So sometimes they can be the correct color and the good flavor. Sometimes it can be a little off. So this is a strawberry. A little bit of it onto this one. See, this looks brown and runny, so having a piece of cracker underneath it will catch all that. And the one apple jelly that I opened up looked as dark as that. And the strawberry looked as dark as what the grape should look like. So on this piece here, think I need a bigger hole. There we go. So there's the grape jelly. Gonna look at the chat again. Well, I have actually done that. Now, the apple jelly would be a good combination with the Pop-Tart. But I'll probably do that again anyway, just for the heck of it. But I'll go ahead and taste this one by itself. Again, this is the grape. It's got okay grape flavor. It just doesn't taste as fresh. So you can see here some of the liquid from the strawberry jam has seeped through to the cracker underneath it. The strawberry flavor is still there. It just doesn't look as red as it otherwise would. I'm gonna go ahead and open up this Tootsie Roll. Because it's so humid in here, I expect this to be pretty pliable. See, nothing left behind when I popped it off of the card. See? It's still pretty pliable, just like a new one would be. So I'll keep that on the card like that over here. So I'm gonna go ahead and give my drink another stir. These drinks that come out of British rations, whether they're the ones that require 500 mils of water or the ones that use maybe like 300, these are pretty good. Not as much of the artificial color. So that's still a pretty good, so I like a lot of these. And in the last box that I got from foreignemery.com, I got a few that are in the newer packaging where the silver packet that you saw me open up has been replaced by a tan pack that's the same color as the standard MRE bag. And I got some Canadian drink flavors that I have not had before, and one of those is in a packet color that is a little yellower than what they have been in earlier versions of the IMP. So just for the heck of it, this in half so you can see what it looks like inside. So that is so you almost cannot see this layer on the bottom one because it's so fused to the underside of the top one. But just for the sheer heck of it, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to squeeze a little bit of, and this is the grape. Actually, I'll squeeze it onto the underside because the frosting side is so slick that it'll just roll right off. So I'll just take a bite of that. I would have had to put a lot more of the jelly on there to overcome the maple brown sugar flavor. There is the strawberry. The strawberry flavor is a bit stronger than the grape, so it does stand up to the maple brown sugar. Of course, because I'm biting through 2 layers of that, there's more of it. But because I don't have apple jelly tonight, I would actually prefer to do that with the apple jelly. You know, apple goes good with the cinnamon. So I'm just going to save the jellies for the crackers. Just checking the chat. Well, there is Francis in the house. Thanks for dropping in. Yeah, actually, contrary to what a lot of people say about rations, I'll just say it this way, that pretty much every ration that I have had has had the opposite effect on me as it does on some other people. So I don't have to worry about needing any special gum, if you know what I mean. I just took a small bite of the Tootsie Roll. It is very easy to chew because it is so soft because of the humidity in here. In fact, the right number on here is the humidity. Of course, I put more by boiling water. Number is temperature in Fahrenheit, and the humidity. And I have my air conditioner on max, and normally if you have your air conditioner on max, it should be downright cold in here, but it's not. But as I said, I got a request into maintenance. That's one thing about the app that we use. I can do that electronically, because calling the numbers, you get their answering service 24/7, and because the number goes to an out-of-state office, there's no on-site management, and then they in turn have to, the off-site location then calls back here to Des Moines to say that this in this building has this issue. So that can be a bad thing, and it can be a good thing. And of course, paying rent online is good because I've already set up my next rent payment. I'm gonna be here on that day that I got it set up for, or I will be coming back into town from my family trip. So, yeah, we got the dates set for the trip. It is a 26th through the 1st, and I got my rent payment set up to go out on, because I got it as an e-check. It takes a couple of days for it to actually kick out of my account, so it should kick out on the 31st, but I got it set up to go up for their processing on the 30th, so that way I don't have to worry about my my rent, because it will just kick out on its own there. I got that set up. And I usually get my deposits either at the very end of the month or the first day of, so because the first is on Saturday, I will get it either on the 30th or the 31st. And then all my other bills I'll just take care of when. But I can also schedule those as well using online. So that's one thing that online payments allow you to do, is you can schedule the payments to kick out on a certain day, so you don't have to bother with it if you're going to be out of town. So, well, looking at the mug, you can see that I'll go ahead and raise it up. The color is starting to fade back to black. As the coffee cools. But I wanted to use that mug tonight so you can see how that works. That way, if you see Old Smoky use his Bob Ross mug, it's the same thing. And I kind of mess with some different water temperatures after I got it. I tried cold water, it didn't work, and then I tried I heated up water in my coffee maker and did that. Actually I boiled water. I did the coffee. I used a coffee maker that heated it up enough to cause that to to reveal the logo. Of course, tonight I boiled the water, so that made it even hotter, but that's pretty cool how those work. And in case you're curious about this little thing right there, that's part of my phone mount. And the way I got it positioned on this table, which is actually a camp table, but it's bigger than what I have been using and allows me to spread out my my stuff when I'm doing these, especially if I have a lot of stuff to go through. It's definitely helpful for mail calls. And of course, because it's portable, if for some reason I'm going somewhere and we need a solid camp table that's pretty big, I can say, I'll pack up my my table and just carry it down. And so that's another reason why I bought this, so that it can be used as a camp table. So for instance, if I have to go to a bug out location and we need a table there, I got this one that's pretty big, it's solid, as in, you know, it's because it's got slats in it, spills can just drain right through. And of course, metal can be easy cleaned up, and it can stand up to anything hot that I put on it. And the underside of these slats I can clip this mount to, and so it's not quite as stable as I would like since it is flexible. You know, I just shook it there. You know, it does work because I can get this in any position that I would need to for whatever kind of video I'm shooting. And when I shot the Mountain House ice cream sandwich video, I literally had this thing pointing straight down instead of at an angle like it is now, because since I was shooting a video offline for upload, I didn't have to see the screen except for finding the button to turn it off when I was done recording. But I can have it at this kind of an angle, and this position seems to work the best as far as having the most light on whatever I'm shooting, and it's not in the way because this is right next to my desk that I have my computer on. And I have book lights to the left, so if I need some additional lighting, I can turn those on, especially when it's darker. Like during the winter, I use the book lights more, or I use them during mail calls when I want to put a little light on whatever object I'm showing, because there's a bit of a light void right above there. So I use these, I got two different versions of these flexible book lights. So that's what I use for supplemental lighting. You know, they're small and I can reposition them. I just have a laptop that's not currently working. I have it open and that's the mount I'm on, so that works. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and I'll take this bottle back to the kitchen. This is an insulated bottle, so you would not, and it has this rubber seal around it. So this would be one that you would not use for boiling water in, but it keeps water colder, so when I go on my trip, I'll probably use this to take a cold drink in, you know, for the road, and instead of using my travel mug, although I probably will take a travel mug just so that I can have one for coffee, because we do drink coffee in the morning. Even, you know, it's what you do when you're in camp. Even if you're glamping in a cabin, you got to have your morning coffee. So I will get my main. That should be done by now, and I'll be right back. I am back. I just got a paper towel so I can dry off. Makes it easier to handle. And this thing is very, very hot. So it did get to boil the amount of time that I was hoping that it would. I just basically ate some clock, so to speak. I just shake it so the food goes down below the notch. So I will get this out of the way. Here. It's part of my my regular cookware set that I have had since I was in college in Arkansas. There we go. There is the penne pasta with vegetable sausage crumbles. Now the vegetable sausage is basically, it's a product called TVP, or textured vegetable protein, and most often it's a soybean based product. It's a concentrated extract or something, the soy flour with the protein that's concentrated. That's okay, Ford man. Thanks for dropping in. You know, these do stay up in my channel, and they go into my Ration playlist where all of my food videos go. So I put that Mountain House ice cream sandwich video in there. But yeah, this basically is it's a vegetarian. It may not classify as vegan because there may be some dairy or egg, especially in the pasta. But you know, if you had extra cheese on here, the cheese spread with jalapeno would probably a good fit for this. And for those that eat pork, if you had the cheese spread with bacon, that would be a good fit for this. And because this is low sodium, the Ration cheese spreads add a little extra salt. They are pretty salty, or at least they are to me. But this has actual bits of tomato. There's not much, but there is a little bit of actual tomato in here, not just the sauce. But this could do with a little bit of Parmesan cheese. So I think that would be a great addition to this. I mean, it tastes okay on its own. The pasta is very, very soft. So it almost melts in your mouth. That's how soft this pasta is. Yeah, I've had the, I think it's a Boca or Bocha burger. I don't think I've tried Morningstar, but I have had the Bocha or Boca. I'm not sure the correct pronunciation of that, but when I tried those, that kept falling apart, so it needed a better binder. It was too dry. So if I get that again, I would crumble it up and use it in sauce, or say as a taco filling, and add additional seasonings to it. Or I would crumble it up, add an actual moist binder to it, and then form it into something else. That's what I would do if I had that particular one. There's also a little bit of green pepper and red bell pepper in here. So you can see a little bit of red. The green is harder to pick out. There is some herb flavor, but it could definitely use a little bit more. Now this is History Savior's in the house. Thanks for dropping in. This is one of the 2012 Sopackos, the low sodium ones. I bought this off of a site called emerymarketplace.com. They're clearing out their old inventory. In fact, I don't even know if they have anything listed on their site anymore. I haven't really checked in several months. But I heard about these cases from Old Smoky. He said that they are being sold for $35 a case, including shipping. So basically $35, free shipping, you get 14 rations. And you never know which date you're going to get up to, maybe 2018 pack date. I mean, it had a 2016 inspection date on there. So when I did the unboxing, I opened up and saw that they're all 2012s, 2012 pack date. So I'll show you the date code on here. So right here, see that 4-digit number, may not focus. So it's 22, is it 13 or 15? It's, no, 2219. So the first two represents 2012, and 219 means the 219th day of the year that it was packed. And you can tell that these are older because unless you get a halal MRE, the mains do not come in these boxes anymore. And you don't get some of the sides that you used to get. Like you still get the mains and the dessert in. You get a 2019 IMP, you're going to have the main and the dessert in a box, that you open up to take the out of. But that is 2012 pack date, and case is 2016 on the outside, so I kind of assumed that was inspection date. But you never knew when you were buying these cases what year you're going to get. So 2016 pack instead I got a 2012, but others have gotten different years. And because the boxes on the outside doesn't say how many of each menu, it just says some of the menus in there. So, and you don't know what you're going to get from one box to another. So I have one that there's only one of. I have one that there are two of. I have a couple of them that are like that. And I have this entree I have the most of, so I can have a whole lot of fun with these. I can change it up. I can doctor it up. I could do all kinds of stuff with these, and still have one or two left by itself. And I use one of these mains for my second entree entry into that cooking contest. But I doctored it up, so that's why I wanted to go ahead tonight and have it straight up without anything, because I wanted to see what flavor was like on its own. That one, I took items from Minotaur and maybe another item of my own added to that to completely change the profile, and just add a little salty. And that definitely did work in that. And on top of crackers to give it a little crunch, since this is extremely soft. Plus I just may keep one or two of these in the bag sealed as an emergency meal in case I need to bust out a camp stove or use one of my ration heaters if my power goes out and I want to have something hot. I can do that. And I've collected a fair number of ration heaters. I have a whole pack plus one. I bought a 12 count pack on eBay, the older style ration heaters that have the cardboard element. I tested one. It was a total dud, but then I got a hold of another one out of a brown bag MRE. I replaced it, and then I got another brown bag MRE that had one, so now I have 13 of those. And then I've actually just bought a few single ration heaters off of a couple of different sites, and when I was doing the ration mashups I would save all of the heaters that I got, so I have a fair number of those. And when you use old heaters, even these 2012s, I would throw salt in there or mix salt in water and use that to kickstart it so it actually works a little better. But those are part of my emergency supplies, is storing up these ration heaters. So I got some Russian ones, I got some British ones, and I might even get another one when I open up that mist that I ordered from. And so I believe that, so that one has shipped. So that order I should get sometime next week or this week. And I have another order that I'm still waiting on. Items that I was going to use for a third entree in the recipe contest, but since that got delayed due to the Minotaur move, I'm still going to do the recipe. I'm still that I ordered. Some of the extra items that I ordered, plus a few of my own additions. I'm going to do something that either before I'll just do it because what I'm doing will take some actual preparation, just like my other entries did. Or I may do it after I come back. But I have 2 more of these to do. And then that will leave me 1 more stream that I can do before I take off for my family trip. And that is when I'm going to open up that Chef 5-minute meals stroganoff. And I was going to originally open up my German emergency ration, but I'm sitting on that in case that one may be needed for the Ration Museum. So I sent pictures of that to the guy who is kickstarting that. You know, I've been going to the live streams that he's now doing before I go live. And so I'd sent him pictures of it already, but I suspect that either it went into a spam folder, accidentally got deleted, or somehow it misfired. But I sent the pictures again, and he got it, so he can look at it. And I told him that, you know, where I got this one, and that there's another site that has a few. And Old Smokey says that he knows the guy who sent those to Foreign MRE, and possibly may have sent those to Emery Mountain, is where the other ones are at. So I may, when I, I may try to buy another one and keep it sealed, or I may open this one that I have, review it, and save the unused portion, and then later buy another one if I can get a hold of another one to send to the Ration Museum, so that there can be an example of a sealed one plus an open one, so that the contents can be displayed. You know, what's in there is like a lot of the other emergency rations, where you get some compressed food bars that are calorie dense. You get water purification tablets, and there is an instant tea that's in there. And I believe that's it. I'd have to look at that box again, because it's in English, German, and French. And so it has a NATO approved, so that's me to believe that it is West German. because at that time Germany was still split. Was in use in 87, probably up through 90 or whenever they were ran out of stock or sold off. So I paid a fair amount for it, but it's history, and if I can contribute one to the Ration Museum, either whole or I don't know if anyone has ever if that or not, but I may look later to see if anyone has ever reviewed any of those. Steve 1989 gets out of these. Oh, History Saver would love to see that, no doubt. Yeah, he has some German World War II items in his own collection. I mean, this would be after that, but still. Because he likes to do a lot of the historical military stuff, he would probably be interested in that, I'm sure. But I do want to review that. I just don't know when I'm going to do it. And now that Black Dog Bob put out a video earlier today stating that the canned ration components are starting to go on the Minotaur site. Like B2 units are up there, and he will get B1s and B3s up there as individual cans. I think I need a little bit more I'm squeezing out some of the strawberry jam on this cracker. So this is a little bit more solid. Now this glob looks like the consistency of Russian apple butter. Works so easily. German immigrant, and I think that will be very. I don't care. I'll still get to look at it. I'm really hoping that the tea will be good, because the box looks like it's in. Bob also has a few vintage foreign mess tins on the site, or in a process of being put there. He has some German ones that look like my Polish mess kit. He has an Italian. He has British. Dubsy is in the house. I just finished off my my vegetarian penne pasta with a TVP in it, in the tomato sauce. This is the same main that the Ration cooking contest. Earlier, for the heck of it, I have grape jelly, and I have strawberry jelly. If I do that again, I'd rather go with the apple and put that on the Pop-Tart instead. So this is what the strawberry jam looks like, for those that didn't see it earlier. A bigger piece than that. Oh, this is just breaking. Oh well, there we go. This will work. I'm going to put some of the grape jelly on this piece of cracker. There's what the grape jelly looks like. Here I have the Tootsie Roll. When I first took it out of the ration bag, I thought it was going to be a bit. It did get a little bit squished, but because my humidity in here is so high, it's extremely pliable. Easy to bite off. And extremely easy to chew. Tonight's hot drink, it was Russian, and you'll have to watch the to see when I pour the water in. This side here went from black to nearly like an off-white, revealing the pattern of the new channel logo for just-in-time prepping. You can almost see the pattern when the mug is black. It just barely shows through on this side, but it doesn't show up on camera. But when you're very hot in here, If I didn't have this mug, I would either just use my 4 mug or so I got a maintenance request in to the management company about it. I put that in earlier this afternoon. And then my cold drink is a British Tutti Frutti in my Minotaur. And of course the Fuse Maple Brown Sugar Pop-Tart, which you cannot separate these without totally obliterating it, so why bother? And in this bag that I opened up, got 2 peppers, and these are just loose in the bag. And what it was missing was this. This just happens to be another one that I saved that I hadn't used. This is a salt-free seasoning, and this is what it has in it. Again, there's a date code right there. 2 is the first digit, so that's 2012. But I'm actually holding on to these because I figured these can come in handy for future use, either camping or, for travel. Or I can put some in my bug out bag. Maybe not necessarily in my get home bag, since I just keep ration bars and some tuna packets in there, which are already seasoned. Although I probably could throw one of these in there too. But that's just what I keep in there for food. Because, the intent of a bag like that is to get from point A to point B with as few stops as possible. And I keep a water filter in there. I got water purification tablets in there. I got a fire kit in there. I will eventually do a whole video on that. Plus I'm going to do an update on the pack itself that I've been using, because I'll just say it's been stress tested. Yeah, it's been stress tested, and well, I will be revealed later when I shoot that video. But yeah, I saved these all these little packets like this that I don't use, that I can have for emergency supply or for travel, because I have some of these in my I have a Ziploc bag with little seasoning packets like that in my bag that I always use for my camping food, my dry food. So I just throw some of these in there. I got other seasoning packets in there, and a little container that's got some Slap Your Mama chili seasoning in there that's extremely hot. It only takes a little bit of that to do the job. But I took that to the YouTuber meetup in May of last year, and I snuck it into the chili when nobody was looking, and I offered it up to someone who was making another soup. So she wanted that, so I put a couple of shakes of that in. Amped it up, so that gave it an extra flavor as well as heat, and of course that helped the chili out too. Yeah, just probably maybe about as much of that in this pepper pack for a big pot of chili is all it takes of that stuff. Yeah, that's Slap Your Mama. I've had it for quite some time, but it is still effective. But so next week I will do the. I have one more, so I will do that. Or vegetarian menu that was in this case, and then that'll be it for the Sopackos. I won't doing these because there'll just be. And then after that, I will do that chef 5-minute meals. And I have one British ration dessert that I have not eaten, so I just may have that for a dessert. Or I may pull something out of the mystery box when I get it from Minotaur. Who knows? I may do different things with it. And of course, I still have that 24-hour custom zombie ration from allmres.com that I will get into after my camping trip. So the Sunday after, so we're leaving on the 26th, so the Sunday before I will stream, but the following Sunday I will not. Yeah, you made it, but I ate all of the main, which could use a little bit of help from some cheese and probably something that this stuff does not have in it. But I just ate it straight up without adding anything to it. I got getting it. So I got strawberry jam and grape jelly. And I'm drinking a Russian coffee out of my new mug. You'll have to watch the to see how the pattern reveals. Yep, Aletha is in the house. That's okay. You're still here. But tonight's main was a penne pasta with vegetable sausage crumbles in tomato sauce. But the sauce definitely herb flavor. It probably a little bit. And I had made pasta with some chili beans and some tomato sauce, and I threw some. So this used some bay leaf, and I could have used some cheese, but I decided not to go for the Parmesan, which is the only cheese I have at the moment. Well, I got powdered cheese in my long food storage, but I'm not busting into that. But because I ate all of my sandwich cheese. But so that's what I had for supper. But I will finish off, obviously. The jelly out of the pouch. You know, if the crackers, you can't put the jelly on there. The strawberry flavor wasn't enough to overcome the strong flavor of the maple brown sugar. The grape was, but it was. I'll put the apple on here because I think that would be a better flavor to go with the maple brown sugar. At least to me that would. And of course, Tootsie Roll. It's so sticky from the humidity that I'm keeping it on the card so that I can easily pick it up. I got tutti frutti from a British ORP, and it took all of the water from my bottle that I brought out here because it's a 500 ml bottle. And that's what I chose for cold drink for tonight. So I got 2 more of these to do. And I will come up with a drink for that chef 5-minute meals. Who knows what will be in the mystery box? I just dropped my jelly. Because that box, all it has, the entree, it has the heater, and I'm not sure if it's going to be a bag heater or, if the food is going to be in a retort pouch or if it's going to be in a tub like the Hormel Completes. But there is a ration heater. There is tin, I think salt and pepper, and a utensil, and that's it. So there's no drink with that. So I will get into either what I have already on hand, or I will see what I get from the mystery box. And if there are any items in that mystery box that I would not use, for instance, pizza slices, I will pass those on to someone else. I already have 2 pizza slices that I got in a previous order that I'm still sitting on. I bought an ammo can from Foreign Emery, and it had, I didn't know which MCW or Mule Cold Weather would be in it, but when I opened it up, it was a turkey Tetra. I already reviewed that one, so I'm sitting on that one. And to that, and I still want to add a couple other things. But right now, I have the pizza slices just sitting in that box. When I go to put all the different boxes. Well, there is Sue Nelson all the way from Washington. So you should check out some of her scenery vids. Or she shows what things are like, and sorry about that. I better fix that. We'll show what things are like in her piece of Washington, and she has some killer awesome fat wood that she has gotten and sent to. I have 2 pieces of that fat wood. I'm still sitting on those pieces. I've only burned a little bit of it. But yeah, go check out her channel. And sometimes she will do stuff about the fruit packing plant that she works in. Packed and all that. And shots of different places that she frequents, when she's off the clock. Just some good stuff. I mean, there are some very beautiful places in her piece of Washington, so definitely worth checking that out. But yeah, so I have Will's mug. It's already gone back to black. But the design is on this side. I have to hold it with my left hand to show the design. But when I first poured the hot water in for my coffee, it revealed the design. So that's why I wanted to use that mug tonight, so people can see how that works if they've never seen that before. Yeah, it's like a Old Smoky's, a Bob Ross mug. And people like seeing that color change, the original color going off, and the pattern or design being revealed. But I was saying earlier, I have 2 more of these meals to do, and then I will be done reviewing these low sodium Sopacko meals. But then after that, the Chef 5-minute meals stroganoff, and then the Sunday after that, no stream because I will be out of town. I will be on my family's annual trip to Lake Icaria, which is my dad's favorite lake in Iowa to fish and camp at. He used to take us there all the time when we were kids. And after he died, like year and a half, something like that, or 2, my mom contacted Adams County Parks Department or Conservation Department or whatever they call it there, and said that she wants to put his name on a bench out there at that lake. And so she paid the money. They put the nameplate on one of the benches that are out there. And so that joins dozens of other benches that have been turned into memorial benches. And the park staff maintain those benches. They'll refinish them every few years. So you can sit on those benches. You know, we fish off of those. And so we try to get the cabins. We use cabins because that's just easiest for all of us, especially for my mom. You know, she's 78, so she's getting up there, and it's giving me grief, so I keep getting the cocktail shots to hold off that placement. So I'm not ready for the hardware yet, but eventually I'll have to get that. But it's just easier for all of us to use the cabins, and we try to get the cabins that are near my dad's bench. And my cat has decided to make an appearance. I'm going to take you down. There's Mila. There's Mila. Mila. Everybody's looking at you, Mila. I don't know if you heard that. She is 16. She'll be 17 in October. Isn't that right, Mila? Are you getting to be an old girl? There we go. So there's a little kitty porn for you. Yep, she has always remained that size. She has never gotten to be a big cat. She was the run of her litter, and I've had her since she was 5 weeks old. So she was born at the beginning of October, and I got her the first weekend in November of 2004. And that was like the 6th or 7th or something like that. So that leads me to believe that she was born at the beginning of October. And she's never gotten above 7 pounds. So, yeah, I just like having her around. When I'm gone for a few days, she goes absolutely bonkers when I come back. She's got to be where I'm at. So when she came in here, got to let people see the old girl. Oh, yeah, we do. I don't do any video shooting while I'm down there because, you know, it's family and, yeah, I just want to pretty much, I want to fish. I want to hang out with my mom, and, you know, she has her own apartment, so she will have been in there a full year in December. So I was over there for Mother's Day, and even though it was during Ramadan and I was fasting, you know, I got a meal and I brought it home, and then I brought leftovers that others had left that no one else wanted. Yeah, I'll take it and I'll eat it later, so that's what I did. So when I broke my fast for that day, I ate some of it, and then next night. So, but it was still a good time, and we helped her sort through some of her stuff that she is still going through in her second bedroom, which is her storage room. So it's a 2-bedroom apartment. Second room is her storage. She's got closet space like nobody's business. 2 bathrooms, her own washer and dryer. She's got a deck. And so there's an elevator, so she doesn't have to deal with steps. She does have to go get the mail just like I do. So she can either walk there to pick up a few things. She doesn't drive. Or one of my sisters or one of my nephews will either take her grocery shopping so she can buy more, or they will just buy stuff for her since she's pretty much holding up. You know, she's in one of those high-risk groups for the big nasty. So she goes out only when necessary. Like a couple weekends ago, or a week and a half ago, she went out to her doctor's apartment to get a shot, and I handed off the meat that was given to me by TAC from Mail Cave Foraging Adventures to give to my mom. And so because my mom commented on my couple of my Facebook pictures that I posted from that weekend when I camped with TAC, you know, the day before her wife Brenda had her surgery, and she's doing very well, by the way. Oh, I see we have Katie is in the house. So thanks for coming in. I think this is your first time dropping in one of my streams. So I go live at 7 Central. That's the new time that I've picked. During Ramadan, I would not go live until after sunset. So that made it almost 9 o'clock the last time I did a stream during Ramadan, because You know, when I'm fasting, I eat before first light and I don't eat or drink again or take any meds until after sunset. And I can get away with that because I don't have time-sensitive meds. So the pain meds that I take for my arthritis and the nerve pain caused by my herniated discs, I can skip the midday dose, which I do, and I may hurt a little extra, but that's okay. I do it for a reason, and I can get away with it. And if I'm not too active, which I haven't been because this Ramadan I wasn't going to the mosque every day and spending a whole lot of time there doing a whole lot of stuff to get ready for the nightly iftar dinner. So because of the big nasty, only recently has the mosque reopened to no more than 30, and so far only men are going in, no women. That way the men can spread out instead of standing close together in the lines to pray. But I may go in there when no one else is in there to just check on some stuff, because I want to go in there and check on to see any food that we have stored there has expired or it's gone past the best by date, unless the fridge and freezer may have been cleaned out. I don't know. Well, the freezer would be okay, but the fridge, I don't know if that had been cleaned out, but I do want to go check on that. And since I'm a key holder, I can go in, but I haven't received a key to the new lock that was put on the door. So I would have to contact the imam to say, I want to come in and check on some stuff at a time that no one else is there, so I can just be in there by myself. But at least guys can go in there, they can social distance and still pray. So, it's a small mosque, it's not all that big, so 30 max. But a lot of the older people are staying home simply because they're in the high-risk group. And I know quite a few people in our community who did get the big nasty, but they have recovered or are recovering, so that's good. I don't know anyone personally who died from it, and I hope I never do. But so that's a bit of good news that I just thought I'd share, that a little bit more opening up. But we are spiking here in Iowa. But so far our hospitals, our bigger ones, will be able to handle it, but I don't know how much longer if it keeps going at the rate it's going. Yeah, I don't doubt that one bit. Iowa City has a huge percentage of they've had some big spikes. Cedar Rapids has, Sioux City area has, several other counties have had dramatic increases, and Polk County here where I'm at, that is causing some restaurants to either close up again or go back to previous limits that were set, say like mid-May. And we have yet to see what it's going to be like for schools at all levels, from kindergarten to college, how that's going to work. And one of my sisters took a hiatus from her daycare center because of the low, what they call census, and the fact that she has asthma, so breathing through a mask is extremely difficult for her. And I don't know if she has face shields, which she could use, but as more people go back to work at the hospital, that the daycare center services, she may go back to work and she may use a face shield. And some people will use both. And I still haven't tried to make a face shield yet. I scrapped one idea and I went to another idea, but I went to find a particular headband that I'm going to use for the face shield, and I want to figure out how I'm going to fasten the clear plastic to the headband so that it can be easily removed or lifted, because the commercially produced or 3D printed face shields, you can raise up the clear visor portion. Say if you have to change your mask or if you're going to eat, then you raise that up but still leave it on your head. But I want to make mine so that it can sort of be done that way. I just haven't figured out how I'm going to do that yet. Yeah, reusable. See, the face shields, because they're plastic, they're a hard plastic, you can wash and sanitize those. And speaking of masks, the Walgreens that I use for my prescriptions not only has been selling the regular single-use surgical masks, but they have some of the reusable cloth ones. So that is an option for those that want to go that route. But I have a fair number of the surgical masks that I use, but I switch it out for what some Muslim women wear, is what we call a half niqab. It covers from the nose down. So what I do, I put that on. Instead of just letting it hang down loose, I'll actually tuck the bottom end into my hijab so it looks like I'm wearing a mask. So I have a few colors of that I use that are the thicker fabric. So, and I've done the bandana thing where I fold up a bandana and put a number 2 cone coffee filter in there. And and use a couple of hair ties. So that has worked, but because I wear glasses and sunglasses on top of those, I keep thinking that if one of those hair ties slips and pops off, I just might have to take the bandana off and tie it like a bandit. Well, that is so good that people have made masks for people, and my friend up in London, Ontario, has made a few for people. And then some others have made some for her, and she can use those as a pattern to make others. And then we have some people down here who made the cloth. They took bed sheets and cut them and turned them into washable gowns that hospital and nursing home staff can use if they run out of the disposable paper ones. Now, I used those paper ones when I had an AIDS patient as a client, and I was supplied those. I supplied my own mask. So, and I was using some of those that I still had left from my time as a home health aide. And then I had gotten in another supply of those. It took some time to get them, but I got them. So I'm good on those, but I extend the life of those masks by using the half niqabs or bandanas. You do whatever works. But Doc Inc. made a video of how he made face shields, smaller size for his grandkids, and he then in the video itself he showed how he made a larger size using a 2-liter bottle. He used 1-liter bottles for the kid size ones. So that's just one way that he's done it, but I'm going to try something different when I go to make mine. But oh, yeah, t-shirts. It just happens to be, yeah, because that's a smaller piece of source fabric. That would be good for masks. But if you want to make a hospital type gown, then you need a larger source material like a bed sheet. A single sheet yields 1 gown and probably enough left over to make a double layered mask, depending on the thickness of the sheet. If you use a double, like a full sheet or a queen, you could get 2 gowns out of that, and you could upsize if you need to make a larger size. And of course you make it a little bit longer for taller people, or larger for people who are of a larger size. So that's the advantage of using a bed sheet to make. You use the top sheet, not the bottom sheet, because you want a flat piece of material to make those out of. But they can. So a bunch of those were made for the facilities that Tech works at. She works for an organization that runs group homes for adults with disabilities who have to be supervised, who cannot live on their own. So they needed gowns, and so a group got together and collected the beds and made gowns. And then they also got extra masks and face shields from either people who made them or people who just donated them. So yeah, we got that done for the organization that she works for, and they're probably still using them. Yeah, the mores that I have are the hot weathers. I just have one set, of the 3 packs. There's pack 1, pack 2, and pack 3. And Minotaur Trading Company had a version of a cold weather one. So I ordered that. So that will be coming in one, the shipment that has the to make an entree with a recipe that I want to do. I just ordered that as a separate item. Eventually what I want to do is get the full set of the hot weather cold mores. The more stands for operational, modular operational ration enhancement. So it's basically extra food and drinks for on the go for soldiers who are highly active. And there is Jared, the guy who made my most recent knife purchase. This. This is a walnut handle, brass pins, brass lanyard hole. I tied this piece of leather on here myself. This red material is called G10. This is a bushcraft knife, and he sells it through coloradobushcraft.com. It's what they call a Scandi grind. And I popped a couple of small pieces of wood with it. It's got a sharp 90-degree spine, so I can rip sparks off a ferro rod. I can create Maya dust with it by the spine up and down a piece of fat wood. But I took it to camp when I was with TAC, but because the firewood that we used was already split, and we didn't do much bushcrafting. We did more fishing, although we didn't get a whole lot. Well, I only caught one little creek chub, but TAC took that, and she cooked them up to feed her relatives who came over to help her take care of Brenda as she recovers from her surgery. So she probably had about like 15 or 16 of the little creek chubs. And basically you treat what as smelt or other similar fish. But at least I didn't get skunked in that trip. And of course you see in my videos where I had a butterfly sitting on my head when it was raining. I just let it sit there. I figured, this little thing needs a little bit of a break from the rain. So I figured, why not let it sit on my head? It walked around a little bit down by where my glasses go to my ear. But, I was perfectly fine with it sitting there. And when we were at the bigger pond, we went to the creek after fishing at the bigger pond and only catching weeds. TAC had one on her upper arm, but she moved and it took off before I could get a picture or video of it. But, I thought it was that a butterfly needed a rest, and I let it sit on my head. And I got pictures of that on my Facebook. And someone commented, I'm brave. I said, just a, butterfly. I gave a butterfly shelter. We were sitting under the canopy, just chilling, and, I just kept my head still. The butterfly only left when the smoke from the little portable grill started kicking up and it took off. But it was on my head a pretty good while. So, but yeah, since Jerry's here, I did take the knife with me. I didn't get to use it, but I have ripped some sparks off of a ferro rod just to see how it goes. I just thought that was pretty cool to have that butterfly sitting on my head. Even if it, if it did feel a little bit weird, when its feet were, touching my bare skin by my glasses. But, I didn't care. I just thought it would be weird that it's going sideways. But, it worked out. The little thing got a bit of a rest and shelter from the rain, and I was happy with that. Oh, I'm looking forward to seeing that. It may be so tempting to buy another one next month, but I don't know. But even though I've only popped it through a couple of small pieces of wood, I mean, even though it's a fat handle, it's still comfortable in my hands to hold. I happen to have this piece of leather. It's actually twice as long as this, so I just cut it down just to have, just because I wanted to put something through the lanyard hole. And I'm still deciding on who will make a sheath for it. I might have Will from Just in Time Prepping do it, even though I would love to have one of Big Dog Leather sheaths. Yeah, those little neck knives are pretty cool. I have one small Jeff White knife that I have I basically set it up as a neck knife, although it's probably pretty big for a neck knife, but I ran a longer piece of paracord through the belt loop. So it hangs tip down that way, which is how I would prefer a neck knife. Although my Smith & Wesson neck knife that I got sent to me from Australia, that hangs tip up. But that is. But, I typically don't wear a neck knife anyway. I just happen to have them handy. So that Smith & Wesson knife is in my get home bag, and my Jeff White knife is in my bug out bag. But this one will definitely replace my Morik Hansball as my camp knife when I go camping with it. Although I won't take it with me to a family trip because we'll be using splitting wood, and they're really not into bushcraft. They're more into just fishing and cooking and going to the beach and doing s'mores over the campfire with my great niece. So that's pretty much what we focus on during that trip. But the next time I go camping with the other YouTubers, this is coming with me. And so one trip is already basically going to be on the spring schedule. I just don't know the dates of it yet because we still got to work that out. I don't know if I'm going to go anywhere after the summer. That would all depend on who invites me and if I can get a ride, because that's my thing. I have to get a ride because I can't go to these places by city bus. Yeah, Thomas Mitchell Park, where Jack and I were at, is inside the county, but it's on the other side of one of the suburbs. So that's the only way I could get out there. Tack offered to give me a ride, so I took her up on it. Well, that would be awesome. I have been to Lake McBride State Park. That's in eastern Iowa, outside of Cedar Rapids. And I've been to the ledges outside of Boone. So Cedar Rapids is in eastern Iowa, for those who are not familiar with the state. Boone is a little north of here. It's up the Des Moines River. So I've camped there with another group. And, for the Country Pepper Memorial Camp, we were down at the Brahms property. So we were on private property for that camp. And, despite the wind on the first day, you're trying to set up and, trying to keep things from blowing off, 20 miles away. That one was a little difficult to get through, but in all the mud, I did not have any boots on. Only boots I have are my winter hiking boots, so I need to change that. I need to get some muck boots. But I would have to go to a store to try those on just to make sure that the fit will be right. Because I prefer to wear men's boots. And the hiking shoes that I have are a men's shoe, which I found at the thrift store for $3. And I treated them with a protectant, which has made them easier to clean. But I'll probably have to treat them again before the next time I take them out. But, if it's not super muddy, they work pretty good. They kept my feet warm. I got them. They're plenty big, so I can wear my wool socks. So I hand washed all my wool socks and hung them up to dry. So I just got them all in my pack. I just stuck them in there. The pack that I use for camping. I just basically store all that stuff in there all the time. But so I will be going into spring. I just don't know of any fall trips yet. That will be decided later if anyone wants to go and can pick me up. There is Chris. Thanks for dropping in. I'm basically down to cracker crumbs, a couple of jellies, half a fused Pop-Tart. Yeah, this is 2 Pop-Tarts squished together. That's how tightly packed these are. And you can't separate them without literally or obliterating them. And of course I have half a Tootsie Roll. I ate the vegetarian pasta and tomato sauce. This is a low sodium. I'll just show it says reduced sodium. These are packed in 2012. Sorry about it, just got kicked off. I'm probably going to close this out pretty soon, but this is the main. And these rations do not come with any drink at all. So I used some Russian coffee to demo the color change on this mug, which I got from Will at Just in Time Prepping. And this is a British tutti frutti flavor drink from an ORP in my Minotaur big mug. And I used a full 500 ml bottle of cold water to mix that, and I still had room to spare. But in all of these, everything except the main and maybe the choice of jellies is the same. Sometimes you get apple and strawberry. Tonight, the bag I opened has grape and strawberry, or it could be apple and grape. And this bag was supposed to have this seasoning packet. Instead, it had this loose napkin instead of being in an accessory pack wrapper, and 2 peppers instead of 1. So someone made an oops on there. The spoon I don't use because I use my foreign emery spork. And the flameless ration heater I don't use because I choose to boil these older mains. Plus, use a heater this old, you would want to throw some salt in there. And I think it's just faster to boil it. But instead of the standard brown spoon, these have these cream colored spoons in it. But the Tootsie Roll is the same in all of these. The crackers is the same in all of these. The Pop-Tart, the compressed Pop-Tarts is the same in all of these. So that's not much choice there. But the duplicates of these mains, I'll either do what I did, like I did for the Ration cooking contest. I took the same pasta and doctored it up to make something different with other ration components and some of my own stuff. Totally change the flavor profile of it. Or I just may have it as a quick meal, or if I have a power outage and I want to heat something up, I can just grab one of these other ones. Either use a camp stove to heat it up in some water, or I can use a ration heater, heat it up that way. And soon I will have the Minotaur mystery box to open up. Well, if you are not a friend on Facebook, go ahead and hit me up. My name on Facebook is the name as you see on my channel, but with my middle name. And I have a cat, so you know it's me when you see the tuxedo cat. And I have that Stay Home Save Lives quarantine ring around my profile picture. So when you see that, you know it's me. You know, I want my profile picture to be something that totally identifies it as me. You know, not too many people have a tuxedo cat that has a black nose against a white face. That's very uncommon for a tuxedo cat. So yeah, that would be my Mila. And if you watch the earlier part of this video, Mila made an appearance, and so I took you off the phone mount so you could see her. So she'll pop in once in a while when I'm doing a stream. But yeah, this is what I'm down to. So nibbling on this, and since I got kicked off, and I'm I'll probably go ahead and just cut this off. I didn't get any super chats tonight, but that's okay. You know, if I get a super chat, I explain how that works. You know, you see that $sign at the bottom of the chat column if you're on a computer, or to the right of your comment line if you're on a mobile device. That's the way you can kick into the channel to help me do what I do. You know, I spent my I just recently got a payment, so on my last mail call, like the Trangia burner, that is an item that I'll be testing. I got an Olight that I have now put in my purse as my EDC light. My copper Olight has moved to another location, and that copper one I won from Survival Mindset. But yeah, so I have another Olight that I've been testing that I'll take with me to camp. So I'll take that copper Olight with me along with my Olight headlamp. So I'll be using both of those at you know, during the family trip for extra lighting, especially when we're night fishing. So those will get some more outdoor time. And mystery box from Minotaur. And if there's any pizza slices in there, which I bet there will be, I will pass those on since I don't eat pork. And as I said earlier, I have 2 pizza slices that I will, but option. Oh, night fishing is fun. And the lake, you know, Lake Icaria has bass, it has catfish, it has bluegill, it has bullheads, it has carp, although people don't like the carp. Last year I caught a fat carp. I mean, that thing was a pig of a fish. And it was a fighter too. Carp fight like they're a giant fish, but you know, they're fun to catch. But a lot of people don't like them because, you know, they're slimy on the outside, you know, they don't like the meat. I mean, I would eat carp, but I sent that one back to the drink. There's I think there's some walleye in that lake also. You know, there's largemouth and smallmouth bass. There's probably sunfish in there. I'm not sure what other kinds of fish in there, but you know, Lake Icaria, it's in Adams County, near the town of Corning, which happens to be where the area where my dad grew up. He was born in the small town of Carbon. Well, the thing is, Lake Icaria has a bunch of big rocks around the shore to prevent soil erosion. So I would have to literally attach the glow stick to my line on the dark bobber. That I do have tiny glow sticks that you would put inside of a larger lure that has a cavity in it, that you could put an actual smelly bait in. But I don't have those in my fishing rod bag. But had kicked off again, so I was saying if someone needs to borrow a light, I will have an extra to lend. But so anyway, I'm going to go ahead and kick off, let YouTube process this, and then when it's done processing, however long they choose to take, it'll go to playback. So join in late, you can watch from the beginning. Reveal itself when I hot water. So next week, another one of these Sopacko meals. Week after, the last one in this series, and then after that, Chef 5-minute meal stroganoff, and then my trip. So I want to thank you all for watching, and catch you on the flip side.